All right. Well, if you've been to our website, you will have noticed that we've got some power rankings of summer TV and
Yeah.
summer movies. We know lists are a lot of fun, something to quibble with, to agree with, to argue over. However you do it, lists are a lot of fun. So we are putting our lists on the website already, and we are going to talk about them on the cast. Um, we will go with Bob's first, his power rankings of the summer movies, and they will be adjusted as more movies come out, and his projections hold up or are dashed to pieces by a poor showing once he actually sees them. But Bob, what are your power rankings so far for the movies this
All
summer?
right, so to lay the groundwork a little bit more, so we're talking May through August, and obviously we haven't seen a lot of July and August, but there are six main movies that I saw in theaters that released between May and now. And I'm going to start at the bottom of the list and then go to the top.
Ooh,
So the bottom in spot number 5 is The Internship. I had high
yeah, that
hopes
was
for
not
this
a good
movie.
movie.
Yeah. Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn sort of disappointed, didn't they? They sort of run their
Yeah,
course, and I gave it 2.5 out of 5, slightly more generous than you, right? I think you gave it 2.
yeah. I think I is that three I've given two this summer? Wow. Yeah, I think so.
Could
Okay.
be. You're a harsh critic with all your, good TV shows and stuff that you watch, so.
I guess so.
Yeah, the internship's a pass. I was hoping for more. It was a Silicon Valley sort of based thing, and I live here now, and that didn't really change anything about it. And it's more an ad for Google. So next up on the list, number 4. Now you might think this movie should be higher, but it really shouldn't be.
Wait, wait,
Man
wait,
of
wait, wait.
Steel.
I thought we just did six, and this is number four.
No, there are two that tied for a place.
Oh, okay, okay.
So yeah, sorry to throw you off there.
Man of Steel, you
So
said.
yeah, so Internship is number 5, Man of Steel is number 4, and I gave Man of Steel 3 out of 5, which was quite generous as it turns out, compared to the Logan meter. Um,
What can I say?
did you give it a 2 out of 5 as well, or did you at
I
least give it
think
2
it
point?
was two. I think it was two. I spent a lot of that movie being annoyed.
Fair enough. Diane Lane and Kevin Costner can't make it up for, and Russell Crowe. Um, those are heavyweight actors that are fun to watch, but hard to watch work with some difficult material. Um, it was too long, too drawn out.
Yes.
But on the flip side, hey, we're talking lists, right? We're comparing it to the internship. So if you only got these two movies on a desert island, see Superman. It's a little better, even though it's a little longer. Um, plus, there's just more to keep you company because you're going to be watching it a lot of times in a row since you're on a desert island. Um,
Good point.
yeah, so that's Man of Steel. If you would like to complain that we should think more highly of this movie, feel free to drop us comments wherever,
We
YouTube,
would love
website.
that.
We want to see why you think it's so amazing. But really, I'm being super nice to you, Man of Steel fan, whoever you are watching. It's 3 out of 5. That's the best you're going to get. Um, next on the list, World War Z. Now, this one just recently came out, and I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. A nice, safe zombie action movie, very safe. Probably the most well, no, there's some others coming up. I was going to say the most family friendly on the list, but not really. It's still a
Mm.
zombie movie. The most family friendly zombie movie ever released, as far as I know.
It is only PG-13, right?
Yeah, it is only PG-13. Very little blood. Lots of zombies. Brad Pitt is in it. He does a great job, but overall, it just comes together. And I had a lot of different issues that were all minor, but all added up. It wasn't great enough for me to give it the coveted 4 out of 5 or higher spot, which means you should see it um, for sure. But definitely better than Man of Steel, actually by probably a bigger margin than half a star. So there you go.
Yeah, and I liked World War Z. For some reason, that was the one where my three out of five seems like I liked it more than your three out of five. But we've been through that already.
Well, and another thing though, your 3 out of 5 is
Three and a half out of five. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
your 3.5 out of 5 is 1.5 higher than both these other movies that I gave 2. So the discrepancy is a huge margin. So Logan over here is like, dude, totally see this movie. Don't see those other two at all by comparison, right?
Good point.
Yeah. So that's number 3. Okay, so here comes the tie. maybe in the future I'll be forced into a corner and I have to like rank these differently. But honestly, it's really hard for me to give these put one higher than the other because I do think of them similarly in terms of how good they are, enjoyable, or ranking for me. So This Is the End and Iron Man. So This Is the End first. 4 out of 5. It's an adult comedy. It's starring Seth Rogen, James Franco. It's the end of the world. Apocalypse comes, and they make fun of it kind of because it is kind of a funny premise if you think about it. If you turn that part of the Bible into a movie, you may as well do it this way. It just they're playing with themselves, and there's a lot of funny actors and actresses at the very beginning that all play themselves at a party that James Franco's throwing, and I just found this movie super hilarious. The reason I ding it and I give it a star off is because even though I was laughing a ton, the 25% of the time I wasn't laughing, I was annoyed because it treats most of the male characters as if they're, idiot man-child type personalities that think about sex every 2 seconds and make fart jokes all the time. That said, they're funny, so maybe there's some truth to this, but I still am annoyed at the parts that aren't funny that just make that truth more apparent without at least being funny.
Right.
On the flip side, in the number 2 spot, Iron Man 3, also 4 out of 5. Now this is where I should really say if you need a family-friendly pick that's also funny, but still got kind of an action mix and a lot of banter and witty commentary by your friend and mine, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man 3 is a solid movie. It has some issues logistically and suspension of disbelief problems and the way the plot evolves. It's like, wait, why didn't he do that before that? And who cares? Is anybody paying attention to this story? It's just Robert Downey Jr. having a good time blowing up stuff. But it was really good. Have you seen Iron Man 3 yet, Logan?
No, yet. Ooh, that's a big assumption there. But you recommend it, I guess.
I give it a 4 out of 5 for the summer movies and movies in general. It's solid. I mean, are you a Robert Downey Jr. fan or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I like the first Iron Man.
Yeah. It's like that, I guess. I think it's better, slightly better than the second one, and probably on par with the first one if you liked it. So there you go.
All right.
And then in the number 1 spot for the season so far, I'm gonna go with Star Trek.
Ooh, nice.
What's the subtitle? I should know this for it being my number. Into Darkness or something?
And I don't think it's technically a subtitle. There's no colon. Star Trek Into Darkness.
Wow, that's bold for that to be the full title. Okay.
Yeah.
Really Star Trek 2 of the new reboot, but they can't do that because, everybody thinks of Star Trek 2 very differently. It's another movie. I thought this movie was a lot of fun. It was only after I saw it and people started pointing out all this stuff to me that I was like, oh, I guess you're right. But in the moment, I didn't have enough time to think about. I mean, I caught 1 or 2 of the major flaws, but I didn't catch all 17 that are well documented everywhere. But the character interaction, the banter, I think these, even though they're still sort of childlike actors compared to the old cast, they all fit the characters very well. They interact with each other very well. I love the action. I love just the sci-fi-ness of it. It's a great, fun, well-paced action movie. So there you go. It's in the number 1 spot. We'll see if anything else comes out that can topple it. And speaking of which, I just have to say I'm definitely going to be checking out Elysium, which looks awesome. It's another action movie coming out in August, but plenty of other movies too. The list is going to be changing. Yeah.
That could spoil things, especially Elysium could.
Yeah.
Could do some damage.
Yep.
Right on.